Hi, guys. Welcome to another edition of Uma Talks. Tonight's topic is overcoming negative self talk and imposter syndrome. So, I just want to give you guys a heads up. I'm not feeling the best today. It's cold and flu season, and I feel like we have that going on right now in our area. I live in the Virginia area. We just had like a lot of snow and you know, we might have been outside without the appropriate gear on. So I got a little bit of the sniffles, but I am here. I am here. I'm not going to let you guys down. I know how many of you were looking forward to this talk tonight. And I actually wrote a book on it. Okay. I wrote a book, an ebook called Overcoming Negative Self Talk. And then I threw in an imposter syndrome because I feel like that's just such an important part of this conversation here tonight. So, if I do have to pause to take some tea that my loving boyfriend made for me, or if I have to, just take a break, you guys just kind of go through this with me and we will get through this talk tonight. I just also want to let you know that I am live on YouTube on my channel, The Lotus and the Light on YouTube, and I am also live on TikTok. So for those of you that are watching me live, feel free to say hi in the comments. Let me know that you're there. And then, of course, if you are on TikTok or you're also on YouTube, you have a chance to join me in this conversation tonight. TikTok, you can request the box for sure. And then for YouTube, I can send you guys the guest link that you can actually come on here and join me on here as well. Okay, let's get into this conversation. I wrote a book, Overcoming Negative Self Talk, because I am a person that had the worst negative self talk. When I tell you that I just was not the nicest person to myself, and I didn't realize how much that affected me until I started to realize that, learning the law of attraction, your thoughts create your reality. And if your thoughts are creating your reality, then how I talk to myself is not doing really well for me, if that makes sense. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Gotta get a spoon for this tea. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, if you don't know who I am the owner of a metaphysical wellness center. So, I have been trained classically in a ton of energy healing modalities. I've worked with some of the best mentors around the world. And I decided early on in my career, I've been doing this for 16 years, to start using the tools that they taught me and to also start to look at my situation differently. And when I did that, I realized, wow, there's so much power in us doing our self work, you know? So that's the one thing you want to know. I've been doing this work for over 16 years, and I've provided well over 15,000 sessions to my clients as a soul alignment coach, as a healer, as a metaphysical mentor, right? A psychic medium. And I say all of this to say that I've learned a thing or two about human behavior. I mean, just look at me on TikTok, right? I do maybe about 100 readings a day on TikTok and meeting over like 100 people a day on these live streams that I do. It gives me a lot of clarity about how we are as humans and how we think. And I feel like this information is valuable. I do have private mentorship and coaching programs where I work one on one with my clients, and that allows me to delve even more deeper into their mindset. And one thing I've realized, guys, we all struggle with the same thing in some shape, way, or form. We struggle. So I wrote the ebook that those of you that are watching live, you'll get that today. I wrote the ebook with just a simple idea, you know, to understand that you are in charge of your destiny, that you can change things around, that you don't have to be at the mercy of your mind and your thoughts. You can actually change that. So I hope that after our discussion, it gives you some sort of relief, some sort of clarity about your mindset. And it hopefully kickstarts your own spiritual development journey that brings you more peace, more joy, more love, more happiness. And of course, this is interactional. So if you have a question, feel free to put it in the comments. I am going back and forth between TikTok and YouTube checking comments. So I'm going to be aware when you guys post things. Okay? Okay. So the first thing you want to know is that your mindset is crucial for creating this wonderful life. And overcoming negative self-talk is part of working on your mindset. There's a lot of modalities today that do mindset reset work. I prefer access bars. I go with access bars because that's the one that has really helped me. But I will not, okay, I will not down another group or modality because if they say they do mindset reset work and there's somebody in here that says, oh, I've done this and it worked, I believe you. I believe you. There's no one way to grace, right? You just got to pick the way that feels right to you. I chose access bars. So, mindset reset work is crucial to combating negative thoughts. You got to think of a negative thought as a seed. Once planted, once nurtured, that small seed can soon grow to a huge and mighty tree with roots so deep you cannot cut or reach them fully. So when you do mindset reset work, it keeps the seed a seed, thereby preventing further growth and destruction in the mind. And one of the techniques I teach my students and my clients, I coach clients, is I give them a 3R recipe: review, reframe, and repeat. So in review, I started looking at my thoughts and analyzing them on a daily basis. I would analyze them and say, that's a positive thought, that's a negative thought. And once I did this, it became easier and easier to identify negative thoughts because of what it invoked in me. So if I had a thought and I just didn't feel good within myself, I was like, oh, that's a negative thought. And I got to tell you something, your mind is so, so powerful that it knows how to disguise negative thoughts as positive thoughts, right? So sometimes you could be having a thought and you think, oh, that's not negative. There's no negative words in there. But why do I feel so low? Why does my energy feel off? Well, that's why, right? Because you're having a negative thought disguised. And that's terrible because that's something that can really just over empower you. So if you don't feel good when you have a thought, that's a negative thought. And you want to become perceptive of that. When I started retraining my mindset, it took me 10 months. I'm not kidding. It took me 10 months of constant reframe, review, reframe, repeat, review, reframe, repeat, review, reframe, repeat. So after I started reviewing my thoughts and I realized which were the negative ones, which were the positive ones, on the negative thoughts, I would reframe them into something more positive. Some were easy to do, but I'll be honest, most were really hard in the beginning. So I started very simply. I would just choose a better feeling thought that may not be as positive as I would like, but it also was, a little bit better feeling than the original thought. For example, if I felt fat in the morning when I got dressed, right? I couldn't go from the negative self-talk, oh, I'm so fat, oh, look at me. I couldn't go from there to, oh, you're beautiful, you have a beautiful body. I would go somewhere in the middle, so I would say something like, you know what, body, I appreciate you for birthing my kids. I appreciate you for taking me so far in life with little to no complaints. I have pretty good health, and then I would take some time to choose an outfit that didn't, wasn't tight, it wasn't constricting. I felt flowy and I felt comfortable, right? So when you're reframing, I know you want to aim for This is the best thing I need to be at. But if you don't believe it, it's no work, right? It's not going to work. So the best thing that you can do is to reframe it to something that's a little bit easier than that cutting negative thought. And then the last R is repeat. Once I've reviewed and reframed my perspective, I would then repeat the improved thought and allow it to continue to grow into more thoughts. This time I'm on the right track because remember, your thoughts are seeds. So if you have a negative thought that's a seed, it can grow into a big tree. But the same can happen for positive thoughts too. So let's go back to that example. In the morning, I would wake up and I would say, "Oh, I feel fat today. I look fat. Look at me," right? I would reframe that. You know what? I'm grateful for my body. I don't have that many health concerns. I've birthed two amazing kids. My body looks great for my age, for my height, for my weight. I look great. And then I would find some clothes that would match, my mood, my spirit. Nothing tight or constricting, something easy flowing, something feels good. And then I would just repeat that thought. I'm appreciative of my body. I love my body. My body has served me well over the years. And then it just naturally grows, right? You know what? I actually do think I'm kind of sexy. I think I'm kind of cute. I think I love it how, my legs aren't super skinny, like they have some weight on them and I have a curvy figure. And then it just starts to grow into that tree I was telling you guys about. So that's one of the mindset reset techniques I use with my clients. Review the thought, reframe the thought, repeat the thought. Review, reframe, repeat. When you have a negative thought, it's easy to assume that it is all there is, but it rarely is. The thing is with thoughts, they're layered upon each other. And as a healer, I've had to uncover some underlying fears that were not known to my client, right? So, for example, I had a woman, she was in her 60s and she wanted to find love and she could not find love. She would go on all these dates and just could not land a guy. And I said, "What's going on? What's your fear?" As she said, I'm afraid of getting old and being alone. But like I said, fear is layered. So I had to dig deeper. What is deeper than that layer? What is deeper than that layer? And I did my techniques that I do as a soul alignment coach. And then finally we got to the original fear. This woman was in her 60s and it was a dream of hers to travel Europe and to get like a little cottage in a little village and just live a simple life in Europe. And then her fear was, what if I meet someone in America and then I don't want to leave? I don't want to leave. And I've had this dream about having this this travel dream for as long as I could remember. So that was the original fear, you see? That was keeping away love from her. So once we uncovered that, we realized that it was possible for her to go live this dream in Europe because she didn't want to live there forever. She just wanted to have the experience of it. So then we realized like she could go live that dream and have a good time and then come back. And if she wants to meet somebody, she'll meet somebody and it'll be different. So that worked out really well for her. So you have to understand the fear. You have to understand the fear when you're addressing your thoughts or you're wanting to overcome your negative self-talk. As a soul alignment coach, this is 80% of the work that I do with my clients. It's a bit tricky, honestly, to get to underlying fears. So if you're going this route by yourself, just please be easy on yourself and take time with it. Because even for dedicated professionals like myself, it's not always you get it on the first go. You have to do a lot of digging. And I learned that from theta healing. I'm an advanced theta healer practitioner, and they teach you how to dig to find what the underlying brick is. Okay. So I'm just letting you know, I know some of you like to not work with coaches and stuff, and that's absolutely fine. But just be aware that if you don't get it right away, that's probably why it's something probably really hidden. But I will tell you this, the best way to get to an underlying fear is to do a trace back. Okay. So, for example, let's use that previous example where I was talking about me feeling fat in the morning when I got dressed, right? Let's role play with some of these thoughts, what they look like, and do a retrace. So it can go from I feel fat to I'm not fat, I'm above my comfortable weight. And it can be easily managed by my conscious attention to my diet and my exercise. Do I really feel fat or is there something else weighing me down? Yeah, there's something else weighing me down, but what is it? Well, I am a live streamer and I'm on these live streams all day every day. So a part of me feels a little bit scared of someone looking at me and making fun of my appearance. Well, that's understandable. Nobody likes to be made fun of their appearance. But what can I do? Well, the one thing I can't do is control how other people think about me. So I have to control my own thought and what I think about myself. Because let's be clear, people who troll everybody. Some of the most beautiful women in the world get trolled on. So if they get trolled on, and to me, they're perfectly flawless, it stands to reason that I can get trolled on myself, right? So it really matters what I think of myself, not what other people think of me. And I think I'm a great person, but I have fears of feeling insecure about my weight around other people. Why? Well, my real fear is I fear I don't fit in or being accepted as I am. But what if, Uma, you could not fit in and also be accepted at the same time? Oh, that's amazing. That's the people I want to hang around. So, you guys, I know for those of you listening, you're probably like, wow, how'd you get from there to there? But that's just one example, right? I had with a client addressing her weight loss concerns. When working with your shadow side, remember this to be easy about it. Most of our fears were formed from since childhood or beyond. So even though they're no longer relevant, they still have an emotional bond to you. There's like a charge there, and you have to learn how to be easy in removing it. When you identify the original source of fear, the work is done. Your own awareness of what the block is diminishes it and it eventually fades away. This is where people feel like, oh, I need to do something else. No, you don't need to do anything else. Your own awareness of what the reason is enough to change course on that thing. So being more conscious about your own patterns and thoughts is super helpful to help you heal these underlying fears, these subconscious beliefs, right? Another thing that you want to do when you're addressing your negative self talk is to practice mindfulness. I found that mindfulness just quite simply means paying attention. And when I say practice mindfulness, I mean engage in activities and thoughts that allow you to be a part of the present reality. In a world full of distractions, hoping to gain your attention, mindfulness could very well be the sword that cuts you free from the matrix of illusions. I have techniques I use on a regular basis to help keep me grounded in my present reality and self aware. And these techniques make up my spiritual practice. I do my spiritual practice in the mornings and I call them Merry Mornings, Merry. And I'll tell you why. The M stands for meditate. I meditate about 15 to 20 minutes every morning. It's really good to help me set my energy and increase my mindfulness and my awareness. The E stands for exercise. And I know a lot of people will say, okay, well, how long are you exercising for? It's not a lot. If I could just do a mile a day, just walk, because something about walking and just moving a little bit helps to move energy within you. The next R is for Reiki. As you guys know, I'm a Reiki master teacher. So a lot of the things that I teach my clients, I do for myself as well. And laying hands on myself and providing myself with Reiki is so healing, and it also cultivates mindfulness in you. I also do a reading in the morning, and a reading is about me kind of seeing the energy of the day so I can be more mindful and aware. Again, I'm a tarot card reader, so I pull a card for myself to get an idea of how the energy is and what I need to do. And then the why in my merry mornings is yoga. I am a yoga teacher. So stretching a little bit, stretching my body out also helps to connect my mind, my body, my spirit. So that's why I say merry mornings. So yoga is so great, by the way. It creates mindfulness about your body and helps you stay attuned to it. Being attuned to your body helps you make choices that honor it and also bring awareness to areas that need some TLC. For instance, I've been having some pain in my elbow this week, and it brought me to that place of saying, I need to consult a doctor about this and get like their medical viewpoint, because I already know as a healer how to heal my elbow, but I wanted to make sure we were on the same path. There was no fracture. So they took an x-ray, make sure there was no arthritis in the joint. There was not. And it was what I suspected, lateral and medial epicondylitis, which is a tennis elbow, golf elbow, right? So once I got the okay from the doctor, I know what to do with my herbs, my oils, my self-care, my massage techniques to get it better. So I'm going to do that. So yoga helps me be aware of the good and bad in my mind and body, and it gives me the spiritual energy I need to address it. Changing thoughts, your negative self-talk, right? It can be done, but it takes time. And I say this because I know a lot of you are watching me here on YouTube and on TikTok, and I know you're probably feeling a little overwhelmed, and that's expected, right? You've had these negative thoughts for a while. They're not just going to go away like that easily. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort. That's why a lot of people decide to work with a life coach or, a healer, because they understand like this is a process, it's a journey. Remember, when I took time to work on my mindset reset, it took me 10 months to retrain my brain. And the one thing you want to know is Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's a famous, noted doctor and physician. He said that once you pass the age of 30, it takes you 95% of you is committed to staying the same way. Only 5% of you is committed to change. So for all of you that do healthy things and healthy behaviors, that's great. But the truth is that only 5% of you is committed to changing. That's why the older you get, it's harder to diet, it's harder to exercise, because 95% of you is like, why even bother, right? Let's just stay the same way we are. Give yourself grace and patience to undo years of pain you have lived through. Your negative self talk is only a manifestation of past experiences. That's all. You're not a bad person. You're not spoiled, right? You're a human being who have lived. Now is the time to undo the trauma and pain of past experiences so you can thrive in the current reality. It's your time to shine. So take these tips and learn some more if need be and start making strides in the right direction. If you find it overwhelming or impossible, give yourself grace. I always tell that to you guys. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So you have to be okay that it's going to be okay. Okay? And you're going to survive. It's really what I want to say about that. Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? I'm still learning TikTok. Yeah, show layout. There we go. So now I've finished my talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome, but for anybody who wants to join the box on TikTok, or if you're on YouTube, you can let me know that you want to say something and I can bring you up here with me, or you can also write it in the comments. But I want to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome. Do you guys know what imposter syndrome is? Imposter syndrome is where you feel like you're an imposter. So if you're a healer, you might feel like, well, I'm a fake. Or if you're a psychic, you might feel like, well, I'm a fake, right? And the thing with imposter syndrome is that it affects a lot of people. And you're not an imposter. Because let me tell you something that you really need to hear. The people who really are out here scamming people, they don't think about these thoughts. Oh, am I imposter or not? Because they know. They know that they're an imposter. Okay. The people that have an issue with, am I real? Am I not real? You guys are real because the imposters do not have that thought. All right. If you're on YouTube, I just dropped it in the comments. This free ebook, it's a link for the free ebook, Overcoming Negative Self-Talk, which just kind of sums up everything that I said here. For those of you that are on TikTok, you can come over to my YouTube channel. If you come to YouTube and you type in Uma Talks, it should pop up right away. If you're on Facebook, you could come over to YouTube and just type in Uma Talks, and it should pop up this talk, Uma Talks, Overcoming Negative Self-Talk and Imposter Syndrome. Do me a favor, hit that like button on this video when you come over and look in the comments, and you'll see the link for the free ebook. Okay, so that's my gift to you. So you guys can have that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Let me know, what are you overcoming within yourself? What is the negative self-talk that you're struggling with? Because one of the things I do for my clients is I move them from a negative thought to a positive thought using my years of training as a law of attraction coach. And I'm happy to offer that to anybody who's listening. All you got to do is request the box and let me know what you're struggling with, and then we can move on up the energetic vibrational scale to move it from a negative thought to a positive thought. And I do apologize again that I'm not at like my usual happy self, but it's like I said, I'm overcoming a cold, so I'm feeling a little bit weak, but I will get better, right? Sometimes I feel like the body just needs to like rest. And I feel that's what this energy is. Rest energy. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for showing up. I appreciate you guys so much. And the whole of this talk is on YouTube, my YouTube channel, The Lotus and the Light. So you can replay it and get some tips on how to handle your negative self-talk and what the meaning of imposter syndrome is. It's all here on my YouTube channel. Okay. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much. And I'll be back for sure.